Hi, and welcome to part 3 of how to develop your own plugin for TwitControl 1.56. In this tutorial, as always, I'm going to be using an upgraded version of the previous tutorial, just following suit, and today I will be using 1.56 revision 3. However, this tutorial will most likely work for any later version. So in parts 1 and 2, we discussed how to create your plugin and how to make it run at startup, and how to actually make a new command for TwitControl. Well, today we're going to be discussing how to make an about for your plugin. As an example, the dump plugin already has an about built in, so if you double click on it, you get this nice little about dialog here. So today we are actually going to be creating this about dialog for our plugin. And it is actually very simple. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually delete the old Hey Brandon from TwitControl, and then just minimize that. And then I'm going to open up the Hey Brandon folder and right click, New, and Text Document. We're going to start right away with making the About section of our plugin. Now, the way TwitControl reads the plugins is the name of these two don't really matter. However, the name of this one definitely matters. So you need to name this one about.tcp. And this will just this will be the dialog that appears when you double click on your plugin in the plugin manager, as we do with dump. So let's go ahead and get started with our coding. Pretty much all we're going to need is first of all a comment. So this is the about file for the Hey Brandon plugin. So now what we need to do is actually create a form that we can display this this nice information in. So the first thing we're going to need to do is create a new form. We're going to do this by dim form as new form, and then we're going to say form.showIcon equals false. And yeah, that should do for now. And now what we want to do is actually make a place to hold our information. So we're actually going to create a new label, dim label as new label. Now by default these labels aren't really that big, so we're going to dim sz as new system.drawing.size, and the size is going to be 1000 by 1000. And then we're going, oops, this is supposed to say sz. And now we're going to actually set the text of the label, so label.text equals Hey Brandon was created by Brandon for, and then we're going to actually make a new line here. Tutorial purposes. So now we actually set the text of the label. So now all we need to do is add the label to the form. So we're going to do form.controls.add and then label, and then label.visible equals true. We're going to refresh both the form and the label just to be sure. And that should do it. We should now have an about file or an about form for our plugin. So let's go ahead and save that and actually load it up. So we're going to open up TwitControl, which apparently I closed. And then we're going to go to Plugins, Plugin Manager, and then install a plugin. We're going to do the plugin path and select Hey Brandon. Now I have actually received a comment on part 2 which asks why do you use a folder browsing dialog when you could simply use a file open dialog, or an open file dialog? Well, that's because the way TwitControl reads these plugins is each plugin can have separate parts. So the plugin could have a startup, a command, and an about, as this one does, all three parts, and they shouldn't be separated in order for the plugin to properly work. Now, so that means to install a full plugin, you actually have to click on this folder right here. However, if you did only want to install certain parts of the plugin, you can just delete one of these TCP files from the folder itself, and then when you install the folder, that part of the plugin won't be there. So now we're going to install this plugin. And of course we need to restart TwitControl. And we get the Hey Brandon message. This is from our part 1 tutorial. And then if we check out the command list, Hey Brandon is there. That is from our part 2 tutorial. And now if we go into the plugin manager and double click on Hey Brandon, nothing happens. And so this mainly is not popping up because we forgot to include the form.show command. And this is a good demonstration of the open containing folder operation contained here in the plugin manager. So we can simply select our plugin, Hey Brandon, and then open the containing folder, and here we get the files that we need. So what we're going to do is, now that we have the container open, we're actually going to close TwitControl and open up the about file, and now we're just going to add form.show. And then we're going to save it with Control S, and then we can actually restart TwitControl. Now opening the containing folder just saves you that additional step of deleting it and then reinstalling it. So now if we go to the plugin manager, then you double click on our plugin name, you get the form here, and it doesn't show the icon as we said, and it has the label. However, the full label does not fit, so we're going to have to adjust that as well, I believe. Yeah. So now we're going to exit out of this, open the containing folder, and then open the about thing again. And the reason this is happening is because we never actually said the label size. So label.size equals SZ. Now if we save that file and double click on this now, we can actually see the whole message. Hey Brandon was created by Brandon for tutorial purposes. So now you have your little about dialog. Of course you can edit this, maybe include an image, a sound, who knows, maybe you can even make it do something, who knows. But yes, so this is how to make your own about section for your plugin. Stay tuned for part 4, which will be how to distribute your plugin to other users. And thanks for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and have a great day, guys.